folks, what's up? This is Michael in the very wee hours of the night on the Graveyard Shift with your daily trivia question. Yet once again, welcome to the weekend. I hope that you all survived the bad storms that came through earlier. I know a lot of people around here lost power, and there was some damage to like trees falling and all that good stuff. It was pretty rough. But anyways, I think that has come and gone, and we're set for a gorgeous weekend. So that is a cool thing, even though it's going to be like 100 degrees, but you catch my drift. So anyways, the answer to the previous trivia question was, of course, prayer or prayers in school, freedom of religion, First Amendment case. Great grounds for a trivia question. So Edward Louis Shemp and his wife had two of their children enrolled in the public school system in Pennsylvania. This is where all this started in 1958. There was a state law on the books that actually required public schools. That's a significant factor there. That's a significant box that's checked with all this criteria. Required public schools to begin each school day with a reading of at least 10 passages from the Bible. Now, I don't care if it's law or not, illegal or not. 10 passages from the Bible to start your day is a lot from where I'm concerned. But how would you even get anything done otherwise? But anywho, that's another story altogether. Now, in that particular school district, which was called the Abington Township, there was an additional requirement on top of that students recite the Lord's Prayer at the beginning of each school day. And this went on in a lot of little areas in the United States at the time. However, this particular school district, the Shemps, where they had their children enrolled, filed a lawsuit alleging that their religious rights under the First Amendment had been violated by the state law, claiming a couple of different very specific things. The laws was an unconstitutional establishment of religion, and that it interfered with the free exercise of their religious faith. They were known as Unitarians, which is clearly established religion. So the state and the school district then tried to amend the statute by permitting students to excuse themselves. The state and the school district said, "Well, we'll just come up with this, amended rule, if you will, where if parents want their children to opt out, they can write a letter, etc." Well, the Shemps stood their ground. They rejected this amendment, still claiming that the Pennsylvania law requiring public school students to participate in classroom religious exercises violated the religious freedoms of students as protected by the First and 14th Amendments, known as the Free Exercise Clause. You have these clauses, these provisions, these rules that kind of emanate from the Constitution. And the Free Exercise Clause is one of them as it pertains to freedom of religion in the First Amendment. They had an excellent legal point. It was a clear violation of freedom of religion. So, when it finally got to the High Court in an 8-1 decision, the Supreme Court decided that public schools cannot sponsor Bible readings and recitations of the Lord's Prayer under the First Amendment's Establishment Clause. Such laws that require religious exercises directly violate the First Amendment, so say the Supreme Court. In other words, that Pennsylvania law that trickled down to the public school district requirement was unconstitutional. It was a clear case of First Amendment violation. The lone dissenter in the case, I thought this was interesting, was Potter Stewart. And the only reason he dissented was because he thought that there was an issue there with the 14th Amendment violation. He really didn't argue anything about the First Amendment. Otherwise, it would have been an 9-0 decision. So, a couple of geek factoids about this case and how interesting it is. It's a fascinating. It's one of the most significant First Amendment legal cases to reach the Supreme Court. One of the children involved in the case, named Ellerly Shemp, he was one of the kids that was involved. He is still very much alive today, and he has traveled extensively throughout the country talking about his experiences along with his siblings, and he is still very much an advocate for the freedom of religion and First Amendment rights. He continued to fight similar policies in the court over several years throughout the country. Ellerslie is a member, accordingly, of multiple alliances and organizations and associations that support and fight for the religious freedom of Americans. And I thought that this was really interesting. In 2002, he was elected to the Abington Senior High School's Hall of Fame for his accomplishments in physics. He is a well-accomplished physics. It's where his educational and his occupational background are in. Now, I have seen this played out many times. I got my start in state government working for a public school in multiple positions: purchasing, bookkeeper, school secretary, etc. So I have seen this played out. I have seen where teachers have gotten together and it's like, we're going to say a prayer to start the school day. I've seen it done in like by the flagpole out front at games and so forth. And I have seen principals who are a little savvy with the constitutional law step in and say you actually cannot do that in the public school setting. So I've seen aspects of it play out, and there is a Supreme Court case that is pending right now. The decision is getting ready to be released within the week of a high school football coach who was praying on his own, either at halftime or after the game, and on a public school grounds. I believe that's the criteria of the case. So stuff like this, cases like this, and legal challenges like this are still going through the legal system and reaching the Supreme Court of the United States. My favorite group for trivia questions, without question at all. All right, folks, getting a beautiful summer weekend started right now with a brand new trivia question for June 18th. On this day in 2018, very recent, President Donald Trump signed a $738 billion defense spending bill, officially creating this sixth branch of the U.S. Armed Services, where service members are known as guardians. Have a good weekend. Thanks for all you do. Be safe. Take care of yourselves, and peace out.